Hello everyone! How we doing? Welcome to another True Crime Watch. Today we're taking a look at more of Sarah Boone's jail... I lost my peanuts! Today we're looking at more of Sarah Boone's jail letters. How's it going, everyone? Yeah, so the costume poll got weird today on the Discord, and you guys voted not for a costume, you voted, for peanuts, which is not a costume that I have. So today I'm wearing normal clothes and enjoying a peanut snack. So, there you go. Let's see what I missed in chat before we jump into Sarah Boone's letters. Resting Stitch Face, thanks for a 55 stream streak. Alted Undying says, hello, Hannah. Sweet Lily Love says, I'm nuts for Hannah. Dilla Spiller says, nuts off for Hannah. Hashtag nuts off for Hannah. I already took my nuts off, remember? I had to take weeks off for it. Anyway, Lady Ann with a 3-stream streak says, my fault, but fuck it, it's my birthday. Happy birthday. It's the birthday of peanuts, apparently. So that's fun. The peanuts basically rate normally clothes. I don't know what that means. I wish I had a Charlie Brown shirt. That's what I would have worn, but I don't. Anyway, so today we're looking at Sarah Boone's letters. We're starting with her 58-page letter that we stopped off on last time. I'm not sure if we'll even get through more than that today, but we will try. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Hype the stream if you're watching the VOD. If you want to help support the stream financially, you can always become a member on YouTube or use Super Chats. On Twitch, you can use subscriptions or bits. All right, all the housekeeping's out of the way. Let's jump into it. Let me get a good drink of water, and then we will embark on this long-ass letter. Hats off. What do you want me to wear for the hats off? Cat ears. I can do that. Can you imagine if you went back to, like, 1902 and I had to explain to someone my job and, like, one day it's talking about murder wearing cat ears? That would be weird to them. Hold on, I'm adjusting the gain on this mic. It feels like it's a little too high. Okay. That might be a little bit better. Okie dokie, so letter. This is from June 7th, 2024, hand-delivered by Sarah Boone to the Honorable Judge Michael Kranick. This is her address, including her inmate number. Nice little stars. Nice little stars she put. Now you can barely hear me. Okay. How about now? Now? I'm going into the yellow, which is almost peaking. Is that better? Okay. Alright. Continuing. I like that she put total pages 58. Thanks. Good to know. Oh yeah, I might need my glasses. Good point. Harold Elbelman with 40 stream streak says, 40 streams, happy pride, y'all. My wife and I went out to the parade and block party. 'Twas good. The mayor was there, the usual corporate backers, some new queer businesses, and 4 different faith groups participated along with a bunch of dance crews. The Rolling Elvi had rainbow hair. So yeah, quite the community. Fun. Glad you had fun. How much time did she spend drafting these? Too much. Too much. Honorable Judge Kranick, ongoing 5 years. Why can't I use my constitutional rights? Am I the only one who cares about the ongoing violations of? Have bond? This is one of the things that kind of gets to me, is the fact that she continually thinks she's going to get bond while awaiting for trial. Sarah, you're on trial for murder. They're not going to give you bail. You murdered someone in cold blood. Anyway. Have any of my medical records. Have all of my digital evidence and discovery. Have all of my paperwork papers, letters, pictures, everything of mine returned from my former attorney, speaking to my investigator, have a complete download of my phone, have any of my witness lists, give any insight, understanding, clarification, truths about my case, especially to my attorney, be listened to by anyone, especially my attorney, be respected for who I am truly, especially by my attorney, and not being dismissed for the mutated, malicious murderer all the world has falsely, incorrectly created and believes me to be. She demands respect. How dare you not respect me? That's always good. I feel like if you have to demand the respect, it's already, not great. YouTube comments aren't showing. Sorry, I forgot to turn them on. Twitch is automatic. YouTube I have to turn on. There we go. Should be on there now. Is there a member-only stream today? Oh, I did want to bring that up. There was gonna be, but I'm gonna move it to next weekend. I'm feeling kind of tired today and not quite myself, so we're just gonna do this normal stream today, and then next weekend, we're gonna do the member and patron-only one. Anyway. Be treated fairly, lawfully, and protected by the justice system, properly, rightfully, completely defend myself, see all and know the same as the world can and does, including my attorney, from all the phenomenal, permissive amount of my entire case being available online globally before my trial, and most important, before I've seen it myself. What doesn't anyone know already about my case? How about my side? Is everything about everything? She really thinks if she could just explain to people, no, it wasn't intentional, they'll get it. No, there's nothing more to get, Sarah. May I say what I want and should, but all the world can? Say it all wrong and warped? Why won't my attorney give me an honest answer? Show me everything she says she has and finished reviewing for my case, but withholds from me after I repeatedly ask about it. Sarah, what are you gonna do looking at a legal filing? Like, when it's just procedural stuff, like getting discovery or picking court dates or stuff like that, talking about, like, where they are in the case for, what's the word I'm thinking of? Status hearings and stuff like that. It's not stuff that even pertains to necessarily the facts of your case. So why do you want to be involved? This is why you have a lawyer. Anyway, why won't my attorney give me an answer other than I'm putting this to rest. That's not necessary, or I'm not having this conversation with you. That's a little elucidating. I'm putting this to rest. That's not necessary, or I'm not going to have this conversation with you. That tells me that she was trying to take control of the case, and she was trying to input, like, I just need to say this and they'll believe me. And the lawyer continually had to be like, no, that's not going to work, or that's not even a legal defense, or etc., etc., and she just wouldn't listen. So she doesn't understand. Why won't they give me an honest answer? I presume they have given her many honest answers, but because she's a narcissist, she didn't internalize them because they weren't what she wanted to hear. Narcissists do that a lot. Why won't my attorney grant me access to anything I ask for and in and about my case, like the detectives in my case? Stop putting words in my mouth. Tell me what's going on in my case. It's been well over 100 days. She's been my attorney and I still do not know. Ongoing 5 years. Answer any of my questions. Ever ask me any questions? How can she supposedly know everything she needs to know from what's been told, heard, read, seen? Sarah, because you gave an interview and talked to the cops, like the day after you did the murder, and you basically admitted to everything. She doesn't realize the minute you went and talked to those cops, you were done. It was done that day. Everything else has basically been procedural. You did everything. You filmed video of you murdering the man. Like, what are you talking about? Reassure they're on my side, for me, not against. They're not against you, Sarah. Why have I already been judged in the court of public opinion? How did that happen? Because that's humans. That's always going to be a thing. You have a right to innocence until you're proven guilty in a court of law. That has nothing to do with public opinion, which is always going to be reactionary. It is always going to be immediate and reactionary. That is a fact of human behavior. Why have I already been judged in the court of... Oh, I read that. Why have I been sentenced by anticipation and condemned before my predicted trial? Predicted trial? You're gonna have a trial. Why does my attorney and all of the world think my case is already over? Because we've seen the video you filmed. You filmed it, Sarah. Your Honor, during our first introduction and at my last withdrawal of court-appointed attorney, number 7, Hobson, lost another attorney between letters, you stated to me that your uninvolvement with any of my letters I have written. I am still going to write my letters as conditionally they are to the world, where all of my potential jurors are located, and this is the one way one, including yourself, knows the very necessary insight to my continued disadvantages. Wow, she doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, these are words, but she's, like, writing them in an order. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Hindrance. Hindrance impediments I'm still experiencing on top of the new spurring... Oh god, her handwriting has gotten worse. New spring... Something intentions to write. Sorry, that one's hard. The race to the pulpit is unfair, and it's important to me that you, in quotes, are aware and understand what happens when the news cameras are off and we're all in between my status hearings. The word was spurring. Thank you. I could not get it. Spurring new intention to write. I gotcha. She still doesn't understand that the judge can't read these, I guess. Like, the judge isn't... You can't send ex parte communication to the judge. Two, as so many of the advantageous embezzlers, racketeers, mindless lemmings, and just altogether mean people can use their freedom of speech, not knowing me in any way other than what's being said by all the other mean people, and being said incredibly incorrectly, so can I, as the compelling and annoyed to tell... No, sorry, so can I. That was just the end of the sentence. I apologize. Okay. Does it strike you as odd to anyone that she's talking about them as mean people like she's in middle school? She's literally in jail for a murder trial, and she's mostly concerned that people are being mean to her, and in her mind, misrepresenting her as a murderer. She's much more concerned with her own image than she is consequences for the murder, or the fact that, like, she killed someone. Morally, that should eat you up inside. She just doesn't seem to think about it at all. All right, as the compelling, annoyed detective in my case, that's someone's proper name, but I can't read it. Koso, or something like that, had to falsify documents and lower... Sarah, what are you doing? God, your handwriting is so degraded. And lower his gun for me to see. I am sure you're familiar with after watching all of my plastered, highly misconstrued, over 30+ million views just on one site, quote, interviews, Why are you quoting interviews? It's literally the police interview of you. She uses quotes wrong all the time. Lowen wore his gun for me to see. Thank you, sweetly love. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading her handwriting today. And in which they both repeatedly attempted to feed me their incorrect, incomplete, hypothesized opinion by stating to me, everyone has their limits at this seemingly endless point of perpetuality of nonsense and lawlessness still growing, and I very much want to advance to the next level after ongoing 5 years now. What does she mean, get to the next level? They're working on getting you a trial. A genuine concern limit has been reached. Why am I still not being included in my case? How much more of my case and self is being added hourly, especially after this letter goes loose to the internet, increasing the mass infection and destruction of my hopes to have a fair trial? Anything fair, my side foremost, and wondering how if my attorney drank the punch like everyone else. She doesn't think it counts as an interview. It does, though. It was a police interview she consented to. All aforementioned reasons, and so many more for this letter to be written, hoping to deter some of the unfair, one-sided finger-pointing, of corruption and malpractice being directed at me only by those in the justice system. Sarah, you're the one that's pointing your finger at everyone and saying they're unfair and corrupt. What are you talking about? Those in the justice system who are trying to deflect the shame and shock from me fearlessly challenging the status quo, and it must be so because it's in my face on the computer at the same time on my boob tube television. Brainwashed, ignorant followers of disbelief, conformity, and greed, trying unsuccessfully to make my life, my character assassination seem worse than theirs. No, too, when anyone points their finger... Oh, is she gonna say the stupid thing? When anyone points their finger, one, it's impolite, and two, 3-point back at you. Have you tried it to see? Oh, she's very upset that people are allowed to form their own opinions about her without her input, huh? She means getting out. She thinks there's a path out of this. That's crazy to me that she still at this point thinks that's possible. She videoed herself saying fuck you to him while she killed him. Oh, Christ. Okay. Put the stone down, as there will be no casting of anything today. Oh my god. Except maybe for the role of my part for all the pre-conclusioned documentaries and crystal ball readers. Real life stolen of true crime, incorrectly formatted from everyone. Might be formulated. From everyone supposedly knowing me and judging who they think I am, what really happened and is going to futuristically. She still doesn't know what futuristically means. Remember 3 points back? Soothsaying is not a real job. Toxic gossip train. Where's my ukulele? Where's my goddamn ukulele? Alas, I cannot find the ukulele. It's in there somewhere. H-Bird says, soothe, soothe, soothe there. Someone just became a paid soothsayer. Compared to the prior letters, she's starting to lose her grip on reality above and beyond narcissism. This is a full-on delusional crash out. I wouldn't disagree with that. Okay. To sum it up in the words of my attorney after I told her to Google me, she stated, "There's a lot." To sum it up in the words of myself, the defendant stated to my attorney after she stated that to me, "When can I see? How much longer do I have to wait? Or how many attorneys must be withdrawn for me to be included in my case and be included more than the world presently is? This is my case in every aspect. See all my aforementioned ongoing 5-year questions. I'm still waiting on answers. Also, I want to make it known, I walked out on my attorney in our last meeting due to her unwanted, uninformative, unprofessional, snotty attitude and her untruthful answers to my questions and beyond." I have no idea why I keep having attorneys withdraw on me. Also, I recently walked out on my 7th attorney and called her snotty for giving me information and answers I disagreed with. Wow, these poor attorneys. Continuing. The R-slur vicious cycle we enter every time we meet is a waste of time, and I'm saying that being in jail with supposed endless amounts of how she treats me is extremely prejudiced, hostile, and unconcerned. She is... Anyone know this word? Ostraking. Is that supposed to be, that's not an F. It's an A. Is it frustrating? That's an F? That's an F at the beginning of that fucking word and not an A. Oh my god. Yeah, I see that she like combined the F and the R and there's barely a thing on the R. Oh my god, just write in print, Sarah. What are you doing? She is very frustrating. To bark or defeat in an endeavor? That's definitely not bark, but I don't know what it is. To induce feelings of insecurity, discouragement, or dissatisfaction in, to bring nothing. Oh, these are the definitions. These are definitions of frustrating. Okay, it is. To balk or defeat in an endeavor, to induce feelings of insecurity, discouragement, or disassociation, and 3, to bring nothing. She's doing the dictionary definition again. This is a dictionary definition again. Oh, you're right, this is print. It's just so sloppy and kind of, like, put together that it's kind of like she's doing pseudo-cursive, but it's not. Yeah, what is this? It's like kind of cursive, but not cursive. It's half cursive. Anyway. So much I presented my solutions in order to coexist with and work together in a hopeful, progressive, positive, appropriate manner. I added, pretend judge to our interactions so she could calm down and ease up on her condescension, offensive demeanor, and obvious prejudgment. She seems like everyone else, not to remember I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. This is why one of the reasons that her attorneys keep leaving, by the way. If you badmouth your attorney to the judge, they're gonna withdraw. You can't tell the judge that your attorney sucks. You can't do that. Like, if they really do and you want them to leave, great. But, like, if you're telling the judge this, you can't then expect the attorney to stay on because they can no longer be a zealous advocate for you effectively. I don't know. She treats me as if I am not. After my introduction and explanation for with pretend judge in the room on the phone, I'm trying to help her understand how she's making herself extremely unwelcoming. When in front of a real judge and in the courtroom is how she should treat me, her client, at all times. I should not have to invent pretend judge in order to be and am not at all wrong for wanting to be respected, no matter the outcome. I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. My attorney, everyone should be fair, unbiased, trustworthy, honest, supportive, informative, protective, automatically and effortlessly. I should feel secure, highly confident, proud of her, representing my life. I do not and have said to her many times regarding how, or rather her, monumental disbelief in me. Sorry, it keeps throwing me off when she separates words across two lines. When her monumental disbelief in me and my care, which I believe contributes greatly to her, inimical? Inimical? Not sure that. Attitude towards me. I'm hoping by this letter she'll pick up the sword of injustice and fight alongside, not against me, as so many unmotivated, overwhelming, weak attorneys prior who bowed out ungracefully and crept away from the battlefield unsuccessfully. Amicable. Is that amicable? Okay. My case, My case equals bizarre, equals unknown, equals different, equals ignorance, equals misunderstood, equals unfair. Oh, she is going crazy in there. What the fuck does that even mean? Inimical. Thank you. Inimical. That makes sense. This does not mean my case can't equal success, and in more than one way. While everyone continues to ring their bells of malevolence... You're being so dramatic. Their bells of malevolence! Ask not for whom the bell tolls, Sarah. It tolls for thee. I am writing... okay, I am ringing mine of hope, honor, plausibility, boldness. Listen, I am not a murderer. The justice system should equal fair, faith, true, respect, innocent until and if adjudicated otherwise, adjudged. 3 point something. Bake. 3 point book. 3 point bake. Sarah Boone, heart, confused cat meme. Yes, thank you. 3 point back. Okay, thank you. Is she trying to what? What do you mean, confused cat meme? You can't write confused cat meme.jpg and put it in a letter. Okay. All right. Something. Wow, I look ridiculous today. Holy shit. I look more ridiculous on non-costume days. Jesus Christ. Okay, continuing. This is still part of the same letter. June 4th, 2024. In addition to my previous letter intended for hand delivery on 6/7/24 at my status hearing, today my attorney made a video visit to go over everything I've been asking her for and have also sent her personally in 2 letters, all on the public video visitation box on both sides of me, less than 5 inches away from my visit. Other inmates were having their visits also. I have explained to my attorney numerous times previously in writing and verbally, that despite the noise level, I do not in any way feel comfortable having in-depth private meetings regarding my entire criminal case on the visitation box where there is no privacy whatsoever, and held in an open bay dorm with no more than 62 other interested, all ears inmates. One sec, sorry. Oh, that's bad. I'm very sorry. Something from my lunch came up, and it was not good. I cannot fully participate, if at all, from the entire dorm, officers included, trying to participate also in my case. As always, my new attorney did not listen or care after I repeatedly tried reminding her of my unsecure environment, barking at me I can listen or not, still going, over speaking, and not at all allowing me to respond. Sarah, have you considered that, like, it's not time for you to respond? Have you considered it's time for you to listen to your attorney for once? Hydrate. I will have some peanuts. You guys voted for peanuts. You get peanuts. Peanuts are good. They're a good-ass legume. George Washington Carver was pretty dope. Didn't invent peanut butter, though, so pretty big L there. After repeating to her over and over and over while she's beginning to speak louder and louder and over me still, to please schedule an in-person meeting where all can be discussed further privately with no success of being heard. I disconnected the visit telephonically. She uncooperatively. She is impossible. See prior letters or ask her for a copy of the two I sent her. I was trying to remedy or lessen before sending this to you, Your Honor, and not having to include. Now it's a race to the pulpit. My question, please, who acts like that and still be able to call themselves professional? The visitation box is primarily for family and friends to connect, and if I'm assuming that's a visit or something similar. If a call, visit, whatever. From an attorney, reminders, notices, quick questions, not high-level confidence case information. Like other former attorneys who always blame their dysfunctions on me, said, "You don't like the answers I give you? What answers? See pages 1, 2, and 3. All capital letters. I am not the problem, except that I want and should be treated fairly with respect, acting more professionally than the paid. I've been doing this for over 40 years, professional. After solving and in all the experience, common courtesy, customer service, and listening skills should have been acquired." Customer service. It's called client management when you're a lawyer. And you are something to manage. Phoenix with a 15 stream streak says, "You look cute. Thanks." All attorneys, do you remember why you even wanted to be one? Remind yourself. No one listens, and it works in everyone's favor but mine. That I am a murderer stuck in jail so they can pin on me their uninterested, unmotivated, hopeless. They're going to believe me over her haughty attitude. I am not wrong for not thinking less of myself because everyone else has and does. This present attorney foremost. The justice system, both justice and system in separate quotes, expects me and other inmates, aka clients, to accept its subpar, nonchalant, hypocritical, next on the list attorneys they keep aimlessly throwing darts for, and more appointing, praying they don't withdraw. All caps, underlines. I would scream this at the top of my lungs if I could reasonably. I'm not going to, but it's like she's screaming this at the top of her lungs. I have not fired any attorneys appointed in my case from me, expecting the highest of equal standards possible for wanting the absolute best outcome in my preposterous mismanaged case. And representing myself is not an option, as both judges have now threatened me from being outspoken and intelligent in all my observations of the ongoing abuse I have experienced. Did they threaten you for your intelligence, Sarah? Is that what they said? Also, there was a tip. Just a Peach says, why does she want to race her lawyer to get married at a pulpit instead of the podium? I have no experience from it always being the same. Blame Boone. I refuse to be moved in wanting respect, no matter who everyone thinks I am. Clarity, inclusion, honesty, and professionalism. And this is what gets me. Like, let's say I was in jail for murder, awaiting trial. Let's even say I didn't do it. Like, I genuinely didn't do it, and I have been framed. I would still have the self-awareness of the situation to recognize that I would have to do work to get respect and convince people around me that I actually didn't do it, right? Because you're in a scenario where people are going to assume you did it, if you're arrested for it, probably, and you might get treated like you did it by the lawyer. You shouldn't be surprised by this. It's not necessarily right. It is, however, how things work. So for her to assume and just rage the fact that people aren't giving her what she perceives as respect, aka to treat her better than other people, that's her idea of respect, it's shocking that she doesn't understand that this is not a situation where that's going to happen. Overthought says, nice to see she's picked up carpentry while in prison so that she can cross to mail herself to. The martyr complex is strong. Puka, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much. Appreciate ya. Another great reason to not have my case meetings on the public visitation box is my personal confidential inmate information, such as my visitation lists and my name. Sorry. With names, etc. My interactions with inmates and officers, what I eat, when, and my personal jail calls also being thrown online. For what? I hate me more than... Wait, not I. To hate me more, or to try to get others to, because I don't eat breakfast, or because I know some Latin, have short hair, my penmanship is nice? It's not that nice. Or because I'm not getting fat and sleeping all day, but rather fully applying myself, fighting still, making everyone upset from not having to fabricate, mutate? Mutate! There we go, mutate. Fabricate, mutate, splice, edit. The world apparently knows all. What's next? How many times I go to the bathroom and what function I perform? No one knows knows when you shit, Sarah. No one wants to know when you shit. No one knows anything, nor seems to want to, from being comfortable in their corruption and striving to be on top with ratings, web hits, and money. My case details, if anyone forgot, and if you think about it, all that keeps getting plastered and plagiarized, posted and poked from fun at about me, it's all in my favor, proving myself right about all the mindless lemmings in the the justice system, advantageously abusing and profiting from everything in my case before my trial and before I've seen. So the fact that people are making fun of you on the internet vindicates you? I don't think so. I don't think that that's how that works. Please be sure to read my attachment. For Rule 3.220, restricting disclosure, am I the only one who thinks of these things? Why can't I win in anything? It's continuing. I am not the problem, and if anyone were to slip on my slides and have the experience, tolerate, deal with any of what I have and am, would you bravely be doing the same? Don't knock it till you try it. 3-point back. Race to the pulpit. Again, always Sarah Boone. It continues. It's like she wrote many letters and they all got sent out at once or something. Oh, she's just defining different things in West Florida statutes, like notice of discovery, prosecutor's discovery obligations, stuff like this. I don't need to read that. It's just verbatim. It's not her words. You could have just cited this stuff, you know? You didn't have to write all this out. I know she had nothing but time, but you could have just cited this. You didn't need to, like, write every bit of these rules. But whatever. She's got nothing else going on, I guess. Oh, she's literally just writing out parts of the Declaration of Independence. That's good. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure those rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Don't know what she thinks that's doing. It's getting into sob-sit territory. Defining client. Oh, she's just bitching. All attorneys owe clients a duty of zealous representation. Yes, which is why you need to stop bad-mouthing them to the judge. Yeah, George's right to life. She didn't very much respect that. Yeah, this is her just defining things. That's so funny. Legal ethics. Wow. She wrote dozens of pages about this. Oh, look, there's even a... there's even a map. Oh. What is the map for? Oh, we have a world map, too. What the fuck? Why did she attach a world map? What the fuck? Steve with a Q says, the artisanal handwritten style is a nice touch, but then I suppose most narcissists don't have their own social media site for their crash outs. Oh. Here we go. Okay, she explains it here. Publicity, exploitation, and saturation. United States map, page 1. To date, each star is a state where I have received correspondence via mail or message regarding my current criminal case. World map, page 2. To date, each star is a continent where I have received correspondence via mail or messages regarding my criminal case. The numbers grow daily. Okay, so she's received letters from... looks to be a great plurality, maybe about half of the states, maybe less, I don't know. And Canada, the United States of America, looks like Scotland, and that's oh, Japan. There's a Japan one. I don't even know how you did that. That's only four countries. That's not even impressive. Fenekagami says she forgot she's a woman and men didn't include women back then. It counts now, though. So. Canada and the United States are not separate continents. You are correct. I think she meant countries, but she said continents instead because she's dumb. Most all letters and messages are available for review and understanding of the impact on my case details being made readily available on the global internet, creating wrongful ignorance, hate, and massive prejudicement. Prejudicement. I think you'd mean prejudice, but she said prejudicement. I love her. Anyway, oh, prejudgment! No, I'm the fucking idiot! I'll take the L on that one. That's the L. That's the L I'm taking for reading that wrong and calling her stupid. Smash Mouth was right. Anyway, I, the defendant in my case, have not yet ongoing 5 years fully reviewed or even seen all of my case details. Everyone in the world has already had the opportunity to do so themselves. The continuation of the obvious exploitation allows the world to keep pressing their incorrect, presumed unfair theories, ideas, accusations, forcibly insinuating I committed criminal acts. I write to you from jail. How could they prejudge me? The video, probably. My present attorney said it is not necessary to receive a court order. I've been trying to obtain to download my case information to apply from the OCCD tablets. My former attorneys are withholding some of my case contents I have supplied to them and which have been deemed lost. Many items have been returned, not to myself, but to the next attorney, and which have been unable to be located to date. I am missing innumerable case items which I continuously requested to be returned or obtained without success. Invasion of privacy, Supreme Court wrongful conduct. 1. Appropriation. The unlawful use of a person's name or likeness to obtain some benefit. Oh, God. She really bitching about YouTubers and stuff because they're using her name in what is essentially news entertainment content about a public criminal trial. That's not how this works, Sarah. People in the context of entertainment, news, stuff like that, can talk about you and your name. She's getting very sobsit with it. Intrusion. Physically or electronically intruding into one's private quarters. Public discourse or private facts. The dissemination of truthful private information on which a reasonable person would find objectionable. False light in the public eye. Publication of facts which place a person in the false light even though the facts themselves may not be defamatory. Definition of defame. You get it. She just cites that again. Okay. Publicity, exploitation, and saturation. My personal, individual, quote, criminal case, it is a criminal case, is being advantageously, she has certain words that she likes too. Have you noticed that? There's like a dozen or so words she uses as emphasis words, or like she uses to describe things very specifically. Anyway, my case is being advantageously exploited and abused from all of my significant, life-saving, suppressible case details, evidence, proof of being illegally obtained by coercion, trickery, duress, confusion, and without my permission in any form, written or verbal, to anyone, then broadcasted, distributed, and hand-delivered to the entire planet, states, countries, continents, containing all of my potential jurors, causing irreparable, erroneous, falseness, greatly tainting my jury pool altogether by forcibly attributing heavily influenced, incorrect, inappropriate motives, theories, and ideas. This obvious exploitation and invasion of my privacy is creating unnecessary, unlawful oppression, depleting all of my entitled opportunities to be given a fair, proper, successful conclusion of my case. Sarah, the conclusion of your case will be successful, just not the way you hoped. A prejudgment has already been made unfairly against me from undeniable violation of my constitutional rights and due process of law, as a result of my entire case and personal life being publicized globally before my rightful trial, which lawfully, ethically, should be without disadvantage and free from all partiality, deceitfulness, and dishonesty made from said evident exploitation. More definitions. Illegal, not lawful, or sanctioned by official rules, not according to authorized law. Yeah, we know what that means there. How many pages of just definitions? Like, does she think lawyers and judges don't know the definitions of these things, if not verbatim, at minimum, like, the concept that they could paraphrase? They went to law school. Again, ethical. You keep ethical in there, like lawyers. Even if a lawyer isn't ethical themselves, they certainly had to take classes on ethics. Okay, and that's it. This letter ends with definitions. Well, good, we got through the long letter. Luckily, it was mostly her wasting ink. Hooray! Okay, here's the next letter. This one's from June 25th. Honorable Judge Michael Kranick from Sarah Boone. Your Honor, it was made known to me by an officer here at the Orange County Corrections Department that my attorney, Patricia A. Cashman, has submitted her motion to withdraw on 6/11/24, which now explains why she has not contacted me nor answered calls. It's almost like you should stop. Like, does she not notice the pattern that she badmouths them to the judge via direct letter, and then they withdraw? Every time it's that pattern. And she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. Why hasn't anyone sent me a copy so I knew? To confirm my exclusion in my case, especially by Attorney Cashman, and stated in all of my letters previously written, I was not included and am finding out weeks later. Judge Kranick, I am trying to receive, please, a copy of her withdrawal to better understand her reasons for the undisclosed departure from my case. No attempt was made on her part to solve or remedy in some type of discussion professionally beforehand. Therefore, I'm having to include you for this request, as I did not with my most recent letter. Okay, so this is what she's not getting. I get the feeling that she's the kind of person who was a big Karen in day-to-day life. So it seems like in day-to-day life, she'd be obnoxious and narcissistic and insult someone to their manager, and it would just, to get them to go away, the problem would get solved. She is not understanding in this situation why her bad-mouthing someone to someone she views as their superior, the judge, isn't working. She doesn't understand, so she keeps doing it. Please understand, I am trying to understand. With her attempted withdrawal, my very legitimate concern now is not having all my case contents returned to me, as with most of the prior attorneys to date. Many of the new evidence, many of my evidentiary case items cannot be located after my numerous requests to the attorney on my care at that time and to Attorney Cashman. No one knows where my case items are, who has what, or cares to research and return now that I am no longer under their representation. Shrugged shoulders, avoidance, and lies. Where anything may be is all I have received when requesting from former unwilling, disingenuous attorneys. These are my case documents. Attorney Cashman stated to me more than once, from me asking repeatedly about, that she had reviewed all of my discovery, which I was withheld from reviewing also. So I did not even know at all she had specifically and completely, and what was available to me, held from reviewing also. So I do not even know all she has specifically and completely, and what was available to me. There we go. Your Honor, how could I ensure, please, the return of all my case contents from Attorney Cashman? When may I finally review my discovery and the contents she has of my case so I know what's still missing or lost? Pardon me for having to utilize your invaluable time to ask for receiving my invaluable case items. Please understand, I'm trying to understand how and when I can fully, rightfully defend myself. Due process is due. Overdue. It's your fault! This is taking so long! I thank you in advance for my inclusion to also receive a copy of my attorney Cashman's withdrawal notice and for helping in the ensuring of all my case contents to be returned successfully for my historical review from Cashman and other former attorneys. Also, please, if possible. Judge Kranick, you will never understand my gratitude for listening to me, giving me opportunity to finally be heard in your apparent caring judicial manner. Thank you immeasurably. I await for the next appropriate step in moving forward, however, and with whomever. Sincerely, Sarah Boone. For inclusion futuristically, again, not what that word means, for inclusion futuristically and to ensure receipt of all correspondence to me in my case, my address is as follows, and then her address at jail. Here's one from 7/18. Or sent 7/18. It looks like there are entries that go back as far as July 8th. Judge Kranick, where's my discovery? Where's my discovery? I'm still waiting for you to provide me with the contents of what former attorney Cashman supplied to you in the court at the surprise status hearing held in secret on 6/28/24 at 1:30 p.m. Hold on, it's time for a nut break. Sometimes you want a nut. Sometimes you drop your nuts all over the floor. Let me get that. I don't need that nut going to a mouse or something. There it is. Floor nut. I'll eat the nut off the floor. I could have phrased that better. Anyway, back to reading, I guess. I keep swallowing the water down the wrong hole. Your designated clerk of unfair judgment ticks empty and unnecessary. Wait. Your designated clerk of unfair judgment ticks empty and unnecessary while waiting for you to deliver. As usual, it's in your favor. In your nonchalant, relaxed, unconcerned attitude of me to receive, you are robbing me of precious, life-saving time to fully and properly defend myself on top of my already and still being violated constitutional rights, and being forced to represent myself based on false information. I think this is the time that she was found to have to be her own attorney because so many attorneys pulled out because of her that she effectively had a constructive waiver of representation. She did get an attorney before trial. I don't even know what's contained in said discovery after being withheld from seeing all to date, and for the first time in said surprise status hearing, along with my supposed digital evidence being produced by Cashman, finally, after never being shown any of during her representation, her response to me when I would ask to review was, "Your first attorney said he reviewed it with you. That was over 4 years ago. You're my attorney now," and I did not. This is what I had to deal with. I've not seen in its entirety and completely to date. Please note, I do not have access to a computer to review the fucking nuts. Please note I do not have access to a computer to review these materials. I am doing my very best to figure this and everything else out as I'm as I go into my new unwanted forced position of pro se. Please do not penalize me even greater for being even greater than wait. Please do not penalize me even greater than being already. I'm trying. It's like she's losing the ability to speak English. Please do not penalize me even greater than being already. I'm trying. That has the same, like, structure as money me, money now. Penalize me greater than being already. Nuts were a bad idea during a stream that required talking. They voted for nuts! Nuts were voted for. Nuts are what they get. I don't make the rules. I just follow the ones that pop into my head arbitrarily. Please know also, I am in an open bay dorm living with 63 other inmates. I need to figure out how to... I need to figure out how to... I see an E and a W and a W. Woo. But that's not a word. What word is she trying to spell? How to view anything? Oh, there you go. It's a V and an I put together. Gotcha. Figure out how to view anything securely to avoid further exploitation and mean ignorance. There is no privacy or individual access in jail. They sent it to you digitally. You could look at it on your tablet. Cashman, I'm glad I could help you shine in the courtroom in front of the judge by you professionally and finally bringing everything I've been asking for since day one. And after I included you on my letter to the judge ensuring return, unlike you who did not include me on your motion to withdraw, surprise! And I had to find out from someone else, an officer, 3 days before this surprise status hearing, so you would even know what to bring. Why didn't you bring to any of your 20 hours of meetings with me? As always, it's in everyone else's favor but mine. One sec. All right. How much real time will I have to prepare and properly... Especially the fact that you have me doing everything while I'm incarcerated. What happens when more time must be utilized to discover where my lost discovery is? I've been asking for repeatedly. For depositions, to locate my witnesses, contact anyone via collect phone calls. That's a real hurdle. Wait to receive transcripts, any records, everything I need to finally build my defense. Or is your plan, Your Honor, to just leave me out to dry and in a hurricane? Sarah, you were given 7 attorneys. You destroyed the relationship with every single one of them except for one that I believe left for a new career. The court did not do this to you. You did this to you. Your time constraints are extreme and unreasonable. Your definition you claim to have considered... Or wait, what is that? Your decision? Your decision you claim to have considered from your order is illogical and unfair, specifically that it has been malformed by your ignorance, inexperience of my case, misinterpretation, straight lies from the attorneys appointed. They are brazen to stand at your pulpit in your courtroom and commit perjury to your face and in this world, but yet it was me. It is in my disbelief and from your order that... Actions speak louder than words. The court is sabotaging me, forcing me, pressuring me, setting me up for a failure. If any of the prior attorneys would have included, cared, collaborated during their time of, quote, representation, you You not being brainwashed, impartial from believing everyone over me, and implementing your intricately misconstrued, unfair order fomented from it, I would not be writing yet another letter, would I? Remember the first letter she wrote to this judge when she became the new judge, or he became the new judge? And Sarah was like, oh my goodness, thank God, a new judge. I know you're gonna do great things. And now she's like, you're fucking ignorant. Fuck you. In the meantime, while your clock ticks ceaselessly and loud as I wait for you to deliver anything, even more fingers are noticed by they repeatedly point back, and I am defending myself against your inaccurate libelist, I can write letters to order. Please, would you post my included document in your break room, wherever you think it may be seen and understood, unlike me in your courtroom? How about by the copy machine where you're... Where your what? Where your judge assistants? I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Junior attorneys? I don't know. Where your J's should have made me the news crews, court TV, professional YouTubers, and photographers. The world! A copy of the notice of hearing where all aforementioned improprieties occurred, and then some, including the drop-off of my case materials. Said order being ordered and me being pulled by my uniform to exit your courtroom while still trying to speak and defend myself against all the mayhem, especially the surprise of even being there, unprepared and without notice. That's incredible. She got dragged out of the courtroom, still trying to talk to the judge. Sounds like her. Judicial assistant, thank you. Oh, wait, my posting, everything supposedly is public record and there's no notice at all. Another, it's in your favor moment. It's a group effort. Saboteurs. Surprise! I shall return. Nothing is impossible. Believe. Hopeful. Grateful. Waiting. Thank you for posting, Sarah Boone. Remember, please, Judge Kranick, fair, neutral, impartial. You must be always. Heart, I can do all three things through Christ who strengthens me. For Philippians 4:13. And this is where she did her advertisement for a lawyer. Stone Corbell, thanks for 72 months. So, she, in this letter, knowing it was going to be posted on the internet, included this poster where she says, inmate seeks attorney, looking for a prosperous challenge, ready for your close-up on national television? Are you zealous with a side of keen? Show the world who you are with your original creativity, extraordinary expertise, confident ingenuity. Qualifications must include being trustworthy, honest, passion-driven, open-minded, exceptional problem-solving skills, client inclusion at all times, team orientation, collaboration, extreme efficiency in listening, communicating, and understanding, dedication to success, possessing a winning mindset, capability of excellence and representation, committed, maintaining a faith in the client and case with the ability to think differently, overcome all circumstances. Epic opportunity awaits! Sarah Boone, inmate number 200005623, Orange County Corrections Department. Invest in the oppressed. Believe. She's the oppressed because she murdered her boyfriend in cold blood. Sure, Jan. That did succeed, though. An attorney did come to her after that, shockingly enough. Some attorney saw that and went, fuck it, sure. Oh. Yeah, she's not mentioned George once. She mentioned the suitcase, but she's never mentioned George. All right, this is from July 30th of 2024. Motion requesting immediate relief to the defendant by appointing effective standby counsel in support and preparation of her criminal case for trial. Comes now, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectively requests from the court immediate relief by providing effective standby counsel with all legal services allowed and included to assist and aid the defendant as a whole in the complex vital procedure, preparation, and professional guidance during her forfeited right to counsel by the court as a pro se attorney and in her proposed lawful representation of herself in her criminal case. We're on a hype train. Very nice. Lance, thanks for 35 months, says, that's a lot of months. It is indeed. Almost 3 years. Skipazoa with 100 bits says, the lawyer literally said, I can fix her. If you want to help out the hype train and support the stream, you can always gift subs or use bits or become a subscriber yourself. Tea Time Tea, thanks for gifting a sub. Defendant justifiable reason for requested relief and assistance are as follows. 1. The defendant's sixth constitutional right to counsel is being violated, unlawfully withheld, and forcibly removed from the indigent defendant under false pretenses, speculation, libel, and misconstruction. Like misconstruing something. No, Sarah, it was removed because you kept fucking over your attorneys and they kept having to leave. Terradona, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. 55% to level 2. By the defendant's lawful practice of her entitled first constitutional right to free speech and her God-given right to do so by writing her experience-derived truth and providing red flag exposure in her correspondence to the court, requesting needed intervention to avoid present circumstances, she has lost completely her ability and advantage to properly, rightfully, successfully prepare her defense of innocence, progressively advance fairly and unrestricted while having the ability to be leveled equally with the prosecution. The defendant is not an officer of this court or any court or legal system as a whole. She's not bound lawfully under oath or certified in any professional means to be or act as a legal official, agent rather, or representative lacking requisite professional and competency experiences, expertise in the field of law presently and historically. Sarah, then why do you constantly want to be involved with everything your lawyer does? The defendant is defective and ineffective counsel to self as a result, which therefore will detrimentally impact and impede favorable justice to the defendant and the opportunity of a fair trial based on equality with an unprejudiced conclusion of her case. The defendant is presently incarcerated, which is causing and will cause unfair burdens, limitations, deviations, or rather, deprivations, inaccessibilities, and unequal opportunities, and in their ability to complete tasks and timely responsibilities suitable to the vital defense of the defendant's life and livelihood futuristically. Oh, she is not correct on that word. By the court rejecting professional educated experience and assistance of effective standby counsel to her and for the defendant in preparation and production of her rightful defense, results may be adverse from the unfair disadvantage suppressed circumstances to properly thrive in her forced position by the court of pro se attorney and representation of self. Examples of said unfair burdens, limitations, deprivations, inaccessibilities, and unequal opportunities include: the defendant has not received from the court to date of this motion any of her provided discovery or case-related materials submitted by former attorney to the court, denying the, during the unannounced hearing on 6/28/24. With only 4 days to submit my demand and motions delegated by the court on before 7/22/24. The defendant has not reviewed from the court to date of this motion any of her promised discovery or case-related materials submitted by former attorney to the court during the unannounced hearing on 6/28/24. With only 4 days to submit my demands and motions delegated by the court or before 7/20/2024. The defendant does not have access to a computer. The defendant does not have access to the internet. The defendant has extremely limited, irregular access to basic tablets supplied by Orange County Correctional Division. Minute left on the hype train. Defendant has access to pay phones for collect calls only, limited to 15 minutes each call. Defendant does not have access to organizational supplies or production equipment. Again, Sarah, I understand you're definitely disadvantaged here, but you're disadvantaged specifically because you continually got rid of attorneys to the point that this is a constructive waiver. She does get an attorney, so this doesn't really matter anyway. She gets one volunteers, basically. But nonetheless, if they had done the trial with you pro se, it would have been legitimate. I'm sure there would have been appeals about it, but frankly, you can't go through like 8 attorneys and expect everything to keep going normally. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much, Nemesaur. Always so generous. Thank you very much. Go back to where, Harold Ebelman? How far? What was that about limits on the call? I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it again. $15 minutes each call was the limit. And collect calls only. I know she makes paid calls because Brian, her ex-husband, during this time was sending her some money. So she does also have the opportunity to make paid phone calls, but I think she only did that to family and stuff. Anyway. Waiver of counsel is a criminal defendant's refusal of consent at any stage in the criminal process. I have never refused. That's why it's constructive. That's what makes it constructive, is by your conduct. When it's constructive, it can be by your conduct. You have waived something. Yeah, this is just her. I don't know if I care that much about this. This is just her claiming that she shouldn't be pro se, which gets resolved anyway. And she's not yelling, she's mostly citing stuff. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Temporary motion for the reservation of proposed cost to acquire investigator for defendant's defense in trial. She already had an investigator. What happened to the previous one? Comes now Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectfully request from this court the reservation of proposed cost to acquire investigator for defendant's defense in trial. Investigator to be determined. Total amount requested to be determined. She wants the court to give her money to hire an investigator. I don't think that's how that works. That's not how that works. The court doesn't have to provide you money to hire an outside investigator for your case. What are you talking about? The reason: no discovery or case materials provided to defendant from the judge. The judge doesn't provide you discovery! You gotta talk to the prosecution! The judgment and court, as stated to the defendant in the order dated 6/28/24, the defendant is trying to avoid any further persecution and penalization from the judge and court while vigorously attempting to succeed in her forced position of pro se attorney and representation of self. The exceeded time of waiting to receive the defendant discovery and case materials promised by the court has forced the submittal of this temporary motion. Once the defendant has finally received this, she will be able to proceed, will revise, and resubmit this motion upon completion of review and research of the components. Wherefore, Sarah Boone, pro se indigent defendant, respectfully requests to the Honorable Court to remove any and all costs proposed to be incurred to acquire investigator for and in the defense of her criminal case for trial. The defendant requests in good faith, and her merits are worthy in striving to successfully, lawfully, and properly perform, act, thrive, and overcome her forced by the court. Just more pro se shit. Oh wait, she put the oath of office in here? In case you're wondering, there's the oath of office. There's a certificate of service. temporary motion for reservation of proposed costs. This is just cost stuff because she's indigent. She repeats herself a lot here, too. Thanks for the hype train, everyone. Much appreciated. Another certificate of service. Yeah, these are all just motions to have fees waived. All right, next one. Address correction. That's important. That's the same address correction. We're about to get to her closing arguments that she sends. That's not good. That shit's bizarre. More pro se motions. Okay, so this is to Captain D. Giovanni, which I assuming is someone at the corrections department. She says, Captain D. Giovanni, thank you for your timely cooperation and assistance in me receiving my laptop yesterday and 2 Discovery USB drives supplied by my investigator. I'm attempting to fully maximize my opportunities available from OCCD to thrive in my forced position as court-appointed pro se defendant and the success of my case. I want to excel in my present circumstances by attempting my best, and have been since day 1 of my incarceration ongoing 5 years ago. As you can imagine, I do not want to be here any longer, ever, with the hopeful, effortless cooperation and attentive care from yourself and OCCD. I believe I can achieve more effectively, efficiently, equally, so I am able to plan my very overdue exit in the very near future. She's never leaving prison. She got to leave jail. She just went to prison. I've been instructed to contact you directly for the visitor questions and concerns, or rather for the listed questions and concerns to hopefully remedy or provide further insight for the completion of, so there is a universal understanding to engage, or rather enable me to produce greater, faster results and work product on my case and defense. Thank you in advance and profusely. 1 laptop times extend from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. I am willing and need to vigorously work on my defense as often as possible. I do not think I should be restricted to daytime only. After 4 p.m., I do not have access to the laptop, which equals 0 work product in progress. The building of my defense is halted for 16 hours until the next morning. I mean, it's basically a full work day. Like, it's a little shorter than a full work day. 8 to 4? That's not enough for you to work on your case every day? That's crazy. Request extend times to use by 2.5 hours in the evening. USB drive security. As stated in court to the judge, I do not feel comfortable in handing over the entire contents of my case to the miscellaneous officer in the dorm for the day. All of my information is highly confidential, and I'm trying to avoid further leaks on top of the already recorded jail phone calls, visitation names and details, my inmate interactions, meals consumed, etc. Sarah, again, for the millionth time, there are no leaks. Information that is getting to the internet is publicly available information. I do not know what else to tell you. A concerning example today, I returned my laptop and USB drives together yesterday. I received back the laptop, which is not charged at all for important use, and the USB drive separated with the protocol security paperwork removed. I needed, and then both bags resealed. Another example, I went to pick up everything in the... I don't know what this word is. Some room, presumably. I went up to pick everything in the morning. And the officer removed both USB drives from the bags before giving to me. Who is in control of the laptop and my USB drives when I return at the end of each day? Where do they go? How are they secured? Why are the contents being removed? Opened? As I said, I do not feel secure in this process. If there is one, and if it's vital to me that OCCD handles with priority, safely, security, and care, when asking any officer anything per training to the laptop and drives, they do not know and become agitated with me trying to ask and figure everything out. Request, allow me to keep only the 2 USB drives at my bunk after returning the laptop to keep in my new secured locked drawer each day, hopefully evening. They will not let her keep the USB drives for weapon reasons. It could be turned into a little shiv. Like, I know that that's not, like, the best shiv, but you can turn a USB drive into a weapon, which is why they need to be locked away during the evenings. This was told to her in court. She continually tried to talk around it. Sarah always thinks there should be exceptions for her, because she's one of the good prisoners. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't understand that categorically she's in the same category as everyone else in jail. They are all inmates. But she seems to think she deserves special treatment, because she's, you know, she's her. 3. Classroom. This room is unoccupied for the majority of each day and available, close, undisruptive solution for me to achieve privacy for reviewing and listening to my confidential case documents. The classroom is also in direct, continuous, effortless view of the officers at all times. She was told in court that that room does get used for other things on a regular basis. But she's just like, no, I should get it. I should get to use that room all to myself. Request, permit me authorized access to utilize a table in the classroom to view and listen to my discovery on the laptop when not occupied and is in direct view of the officers. 4. Earphones, headphones. As said, my discovery contains a large amount of audio to be listened to. If you'll not permit me to access the classroom, I'll need listening utilities with earphones or headphones or over the ever-increasing noise level of the dorm. There are also no idea, when the dorm is on lockdown and quiet so no one is able to hear. Must? Gotcha. Request, provide any kind of earphones or headphones. That one I kind of get. Internet with limited access and restrictions. I need to research heavily my defense, all of it, locate witnesses, experts, clerk's website. The jail probably has a law library. You're probably going to have to use that. I doubt they're going to let her have access to the internet, even limited. Correspond with the judge, my defense team, anyone affiliated or maybe with my case forward motions. Other important documents, everything I need to educate myself on and about being pro se, etc. Please understand, I cannot complete any of the aforementioned without an internet. The basic laptop provided is only for viewing my USB drives. There is no other access. What, witnesses? Yeah, no one witnessed it, except the camera and her. Request, grant me access to the internet with appropriate parental controls and limited access with restrictions. There's always ways to get around that, so probably not safe. Word program to type any motions. I wish she was given a word program so I didn't have to read this handwriting, but yeah, that's a no. To type out any motions, make notes, lists, memos, anything I need to document and record for future reference or sharing with potential team members. Need to be able to open and create a document, save work product information, attach text or PDFs, to create an email if granted, print documents. Why do you need to print documents? What the fuck? telephone access. As you're aware, my dorm contains payphones only and are limited to only 15 minutes per call, which are collect. I need to be able to communicate on a regular normal phone to make any and all necessary calls for my care to use in trial. I have no other way to contact anyone that's not collect, which incredibly diminishes most, if not all, of my opportunities to properly prepare. Request, permit me access to a regular normal phone to conduct reason. No, they're not going to let you do that. Discovery hard copies. As I am presently, I can keep these in the permitted property bag discreetly located at my bunk. I'll purge the documents I have now and keep only my discovery hard copies. The remaining I can send to the property department and will purge anything already being stored for easy convenience and extra space. Also, when the laptop hours are closed, I am able to pick up uninterrupted with these hard copies anytime. Any comparative review with the digital can also be achieved. What does she think she's going to get out of this? Captain D. Giovanni, everyone's understanding and invaluable time is greatly appreciated, and their assistance in aiding me to utilize my capabilities and opportunities here at OCCD. I am diligently working on what I can with what I have, laptop, USB drives, and am severely hindered in real progress without my requests, especially needing to access the internet and a normal functioning telephone. Becoming pro se defendant was not my choice. I am already trying to overcome extreme circumstances just in my life of incarceration, and now in addition being forced by the court to represent and defend myself in my criminal case. Extreme has progressed to the extraordinary. Please understand my attempts are always in good faith, where I am finally trying to complete these tasks as needed to surpass my difficulties and achieve overdue success, and finally, I cannot do it without you and the assistance of the Orange County Corrections Department. I thank you everyone for your patience and your responses for needing collaboration and conclusion of my requests, please, and criminal case. I have noticed the judge also with a copy of this letter to... So he is aware I am in the process of trying to receive these must-haves, and that I need further guidance and awareness from you first. From there, I can create all motions that may be necessary for access and completion. This is important, Captain, and time-sensitive as my proposed trial date is on October 7th, 2024. As of this letter, I have only 59 days for the completion of my defense prior. Please understand the importance of your timely attention and response. As said, I cannot do this without you and the help of OCCD. I'm beyond grateful. Please notify me as soon as possible, please, about any motion I need to file for my request to be granted. Thank you, immeasurably. Thank you immeasurably. I also spoke to Sergeant Casey in the courtroom requesting your time, please, at your earliest opportunity to convey the importance of my request to hopefully be completed. She wants a face-to-face meeting with the guy in charge of the jail so she can sit down and explain it. Oh, God. This is just a motion for costs. This is one of Sarah's friends sending a letter to the judge. Let's read this, I guess. This is, I think, from one of Sarah's friends. Black's Law Dictionary request. What do you want me to look up, sweet Lily Love? Ex parte? Easy enough. Ex parte, honor from one party only. Without notice or argument from the adverse party, the judge conducted the hearing ex parte, as an example. She has friends, a few. These are people she met after she went to jail, like people who sent her letters and stuff. You know, that kind of person. Jail pen pals, you know. Dear Judge Kranick, I have been closely following developments in the defendant... Sorry, now all of a sudden I can read really fast because it's printed again and now my mouth isn't ready for it. I have been closely following developments in defendant Sarah Boone's case, who is accused of second-degree murder, and I find her predicament very troubling. It's evident that Sarah Boone is a difficult inmate who, per your decision, has forfeited her right to counsel. It's an appropriate conclusion, for though the right to court-appointed counsel is constitutionally guaranteed, the defendant does not have a right to shop for one ad infinitum until she finds the right fit. There are, however, some concerns and considerations which I fear will jeopardize the defendant's right to a fair trial, which perhaps have never been raised before. We must first recognize, as you are personally well aware, that no person in the state of Florida, nor any state in these United States, is allowed to legally perform the duties of an attorney without legal law license for which one has to pass a bar examination. That simple fact underscores the depth of education, experience, and savvy which are necessary for an individual to represent another individual or entity. But of course, these are 21st century considerations which take into account the complicated world in which we live today, which were not on any of the founding fathers' radars when the Constitution was first being drafted. Expecting a layperson to be able to completely represent themselves in 2024 and with no accommodations would be tantamount to expecting a layperson to perform medical surgery on themselves without any access to modern tools. Yeah, she should have not waived her right to an attorney then. We would never allow such a thing under the law, let alone legally mandate that someone has forfeited their right to a doctor and must now perform surgery on themselves. Well, those aren't the same situation, are they? A law license should be allowed to represent themselves, or rather, no individual without a law license should be allowed to represent themselves ever. Well, that's against the Constitution. It's literally in the Constitution. You gotta have a constitutional convention for that. Don't know what to tell ya. Individuals who have the education and accreditation, although ill-advised, are a different matter. Now, considering we cannot simply alter the Constitution without much due process, and with this I am not suggesting that Miss Boone be afforded yet another lawyer, what considerations should be taken in order to properly afford her access to a fair opportunity at self-defense? If another counsel is not an option, frankly speaking, there is no other choice but to allow the defendant to have access to any and all materials necessary to aid in her defense, including a law library, a computer, limited internet access, an investigator, etc. The defendant must be allowed to secure space and anything else. Sarah clearly told her friend to write a letter with these specific things, because they are all the specific requests that Sarah asked for in the most recent letter. It has been argued by jailhouse counsel that none of these privileges are granted by the Constitution and that defendants should only have access to pens and paper, envelopes, and stamps. But I would venture to argue even further that the Constitution also doesn't guarantee a defendant the right to medical treatment, meals, or even personal hygiene supplies or clothing. It's just that we, the people, have collectively decided that human rights and the dignity of the individual matter. When? Did I miss some news? When did we decide that as a country? Anyway, you get it. Oh boy, this is the bad one. How much longer do we have? Hold on, I gotta check the time. Oh shit, we have enough time. Fuck. Yeah, cruel and unusual punishment, probably. Yeah. Anyway. So this is the last letter. This is I should say this is the last letter prior to her going to prison. There are prison letters. This is all the jail letters. This is the final jail letter before prison. This includes, I'm sorry to say, her full final statement where she says that she forgives the jury. amongst many other things. So, just so you're emotionally prepared, she is not going to take any amount of responsibility for what she's done. Can we watch her get the verdict after this letter? We can. We can. It's going to be bad. So just be aware of that. Let's go through it. This is after she's been found guilty. This is just a statement before sentencing. In sentencing, you want to show remorse so that you get a lesser sentence. You want to show that you understand what you did was wrong and now you are going to pay for it and you are accepting that punishment. She does the opposite of this. So, is this the one she reads out? The one she reads out, yes, but this is actually longer. This is sort of the director's cut because they made her shorten it for the actual thing because she just went on way too long. All right. So, let me take a drink and then we'll do this. Mr. Michael Kranick, that's the judge, by the way. That should be Judge Kranick or your Honorable Judge Kranick, not Mr. Michael Kranick. She definitely switched to Mr. because she's guilty. Because she was found guilty and she's mad. She's so mad. Fuck! I'm glad I'm not streaming for the next 2 days after this, because my throat is so dry. It's because I have to work, just so you know. So, Monday, Tuesday, no stream this upcoming week. I'll be back Wednesday with, tinfoil. Anyway, let's do this. Mr. Michael Kranick, I am enclosing, please, my complete statement to you and the whole world as I partially read during my sentencing hearing. But, oh, sorry, she actually already read the whole thing during her sentencing hearing, just not the parts that got cut out. By my reserving, should we just listen to it and then maybe read the letter another time? Hold on. This is so bad. This is the cut down version. Again, they made her cut this down. But I think it'll be more impactful if you see it, too.
You can be seated. You've been previously sworn. You may inquire, sir.
This is courtesy of Law and Crime, by the way. Thank you, Law and Crime. If this gets jumped, if YouTube stops for some reason, come over to Twitch, because we are going to watch this. You want to know what she says in her letter, but couldn't say here. We'll try to go over it. We'll try to go over the letter stuff that she doesn't get to here.
Sarah Boone.
Now, this is unlike a trial, so you're allowed to speak in a narrative form, as well as I understand you have taken some notes or written a letter that you want to read from, and then you want to speak to the court after that.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and get started?
This is actually an edited version of.
Hold on a second.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper, and I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So what I have here is, like I said, an edited version. But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said in my actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, I have, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. So I wanted to read this, and then if I may, I
gotta find that fucking ukulele. Hold on.
like to address everyone in my apology on top of my statement.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Kintu Sukuroi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style which means to repair with gold. In this tradition, when a ceramic piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or gold dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. It embraces flaws, weakness, and imperfections, and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. This is the wisdom of Kintu Sukuroi. In my wisdom and with all of my repairs, then, now, and ongoing, God is, has been, and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by George Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing
Scoundrel detectives.
constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable. Forgiveness is not an attempt to change or forget who, what, or how you've lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion.
Yes, Sarah's known for her humility.
To be set free from sorrow. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache. Irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter. As the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. My goal begins with George Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed.
Yeah, reminder, she changed her story. She ended up later with later defense attorneys going with a battered partner defense. So she starts saying at some point that he was just like beating the shit out of her and stuff and raping her. That's what she's saying, and she's sticking to it after she changed her story. Terradona says, someone cue the house orchestra. Time for her to wrap it up. True. It should be said that her ex-husband said that she used to abuse him physically and then try and bait him into reacting, basically, so he would get in trouble.
Choked, laughed at.
Who did the... Wait, Black's Law. Felix did Black's Law Dictionary. Flip to a random page and read it like a tarot card? I don't know how to do tarot cards. Let's see. Delegation of power is a transfer of authority by one branch of the government to another branch or another administrative agency. You're gonna win the lottery. And yeah, she was bigger than George was. He was a tiny guy. Not that people smaller than you can't abuse you. They can.
Pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day.
Tina, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. We are doing True Crime Watch. We've been reading Sarah Boone's prison letters, or jail letters, rather. She is the suitcase murderer. If you're not familiar, she put her boyfriend in a suitcase and murdered him. So, this is her closing to the court. She's already been found guilty, and this is her narcissistically just saying, I forgive all of you. I forgive you all for finding me guilty.
For ruining my deceased family's
Check out Tina 2 here on Twitch.
heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture.
Yes, she does have a kid. Luckily, he is with the father. The father seems like a decent guy. They, yeah. I do feel bad for the kid. I didn't even read any of those. The messages she sends to her son are abusive. While she's in jail, she was still sending messages to the son and talking with him on the phone, and the way she talks to the son is very abusive. Their current parenting plan is I think she still gets to talk to the kid once a week through prison phones until he's 18. Until he's 18, he has to do calls with her once a week and visits once a month, I believe. I feel really bad for him.
Destroying the television we watched together. For wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over. For breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether. So I
Glad
had
she can't beat the shit out of her son in prison. Verbally, it's pretty bad, though. She's doing stuff like... Hold on. She's doing stuff like the kid isn't calling her as much as she wants. Like, the kid isn't calling her as much as she wants or not answering his cell phone every time she calls. So she'll send messages like, if you don't like me, if you don't want to talk to me, just tell me. Be a man. This kid's 9 or 10 years old when she does this, by the way. Be a man and just tell me that you... Like, really manipulative. The whole tone of conversation she has with her son is entirely manipulative. It's so bad.
nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement.
You didn't know he was that young? Yeah, he was 9 when the murder occurred. Now he's in his late teens. So that was what, 2020 when the murder occurred, or 2021? 6 years on top of 9. Oh, maybe he's like 14, 15, something like that.
For kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room.
So mid-teens, I guess.
Because they were trying to protect me. For threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother. For all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors when wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped. For drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to...
Fuck off. She was a severe alcoholic. She was drinking all the time, and it was not because George was forcing her. This predates her relationship with George, according to her ex-husband.
Urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose. For making me experience what it is to be sodomized. Threatening...
You're guessing there's no police reports attached? There are police reports of him being arrested and her being arrested
to kill my
for domestic stuff.
Friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece. For threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job. For holding me hostage on weekends my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave.
There's no evidence of any of this, by the way. This is not how other witnesses or people who were on the like, not witnesses. What's the thing I'm trying to think of? Anyone on the stand who's being questioned. That's not how George was, according to them.
For stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested. For destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called. For me experiencing ever being arrested and after today, prison. For beating me almost
You're blaming the person you murdered for you going to jail for their murder?
Mind crushing my occipital lobe.
Testimony, thank you.
For having me
My brain is not doing well today.
Experience what it means to see stars, like in the cartoons, where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times. for dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him, for taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him. For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once. For destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter, not letting me feel safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love. I also
You
forgive
ended him!
the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was, capable of, and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head.
That's irrelevant to your murder!
For everyone who knew what George was doing to me, sometimes how and when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both
What could I have done to stop Sarah from murdering George?
of them? And after
Yes, it's textbook Darvo.
all the time Sarah tried to by asking for help from all of us and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media.
The organized crime that is social media. Sarah, social media has nothing to do with the video you filmed of yourself murdering your boyfriend.
Condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous.
Oh yeah, she lost the family court case too.
Social media and my criminal case. It is
I didn't bring this up. She was getting alimony from her ex-husband, and she expected it to keep going in perpetuity while she was in prison forever. And he was like, what? No, and took her to family court to get the alimony removed. And he was mostly successful. I think he still has like 100 a month for a certain number of years. But it used to be an arrangement that was basically over 1,000 a month. And it was like in perpetuity, I think. So, I don't know. So he's much better off.
It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Social media has made me a
Isn't the jury supposed to not have seen anything about this case prior? Yes, generally.
pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantage.
She felt, we'll go over this when we get into probably the family court stuff another time, but she feels so entitled to her ex-husband's money, it's actually crazy.
Especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online.
Like, she's constantly demanding him over messages, like, order special food for her at the jail. Again, this is her ex-husband. This isn't even like her, he's, the only current relationship he has is they share a son, but she's asking for birthday and Christmas presents from him and, like, money for food.
My criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and
And by food, I mean, like, extra stuff. Obviously, the jail feeds them. I mean, like, extra stuff.
Influenced successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned.
Did I hear the part about forgive, be forgiven, and move on? Oh, Christ. No one forgives you, Sarah.
I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's
It
all
wasn't
over
an accident!
their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case, still no one knows me.
Blasphemed? Are you God?
In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, for being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence.
How did I get her voice so right? I just said it too annoying.
And that the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse.
What did you get taught about murders as a kid? You're very Jesus-y now. Does God say anything about murder? It would be really embarrassing for you if it was like one of the big 10, huh?
I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car. Having 20/20 hindsight, thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside.
Oh yeah, this is the edited version.
George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be.
Sometimes I'm sad you can't boo in court.
And all of my forgiveness,
Wouldn't it be nice just boo?
George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it. And
How long is the original? We're going to look after the video's done. This is it in writing, so we'll go over sections that were cut for time. Oh, shit. What did I do?
Almost everything reminds me of him. Seeing my stab wound especially. It's every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his
She
laugh
doesn't think about him at fucking all.
the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy was not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long. For second chances, repentance, and redemption, to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken conclusion, I ask this: would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died?
What a fucking bizarre hypothetical. Yeah, I murdered a guy in cold blood and filmed me yelling and telling him "fuck you" while I did it. But if you what if I was murdered? What do you mean? You weren't. What are you talking about? Can you imagine if the situation was totally different and I didn't murder someone and in fact I was murdered? Must get real bored in jail just making shit up like that to think about. What if the opposite situation happened? Dillis Filler says, allow me to answer that question. Fuck no.
How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor.
The attempted self-aggrandizement is something.
Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke oppressors, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17, all-encompassing, protect the abused.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your written statement?
Yes.
Now, gathering your thoughts, did you want to make an oral statement?
I do.
All right, would you do that now?
Yes, please. My statement, my verbal statement is primarily to the Torres family, to the judge, to his daughters. I know you all know who I really am and that I did care for George and that I do still love George. I know you know that we had very many good days. And I take offense to the statement of being said that this is just...
You're talking to the family of the victim and you're gonna talk about what you take offense to?
Just for a moment. Right now with me here in the courtroom in front of you all, this is just for a moment. But the moments before that, in order for me to be here, is endless. It's everlasting. The scars that I have on the inside, my outside scars have healed, except for my stab wound. But this has changed me as a person to see things differently and to understand things differently and to not be weak and
Yeah, I feel ya, depraved ambiance. I feel ya.
just try to protect yourself and forever, regardless of the time that I may receive from today, I forever will have this experience. I forever will have George Torres with me in my heart, in my mind, my body, and my soul. As he and I used to say that we were...
You literally said he raped you multiple times. She's writing this bizarre line where she's like, I still love him and he's so great, but also he disgustingly abused and raped me. Like, how can you try to ride that line? You can't have both of those in your rhetoric and expect people to take you seriously.
One soul split into two bodies. This is not just for a moment. It may be for everyone in this courtroom, but when I leave, this is forever. When you all leave, that this is forever. This is forever for everyone here.
Yes, she did say sodomized as well.
Those who it matters to most. I am one of those who will experience this forever. I'm sorry. Words do not define my shame. And
you're shameless, Sarah.
I don't know what else it is that I can say and convey to the Torres family how this happened. The ifs and whys and how really don't matter. It happened, and I'm sorry. Words cannot describe. And I hope that everyone can forgive me, the Torres family most of all, and his daughters, because I know what he meant to them. And I don't think that anybody ever understood what he meant to me and I to him. And I ask for forgiveness.
Ms. Boone, I have just one or two questions, if you don't.
Phyllis Filler says the scale now goes from lies to damn lies, statistics, statistical lies, AI, and finally narcissistic utterances.
And you can speak on it if you want or not. But this is a unique case, and one of the reasons it's so unique is that you were in jail for 4.5 years prior to your trial. And I understand that when you were brought up as a child that you did have...
They offered her a plea deal of 15 years, including time served, by the way, and she said no.
some spirituality in your family.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Jesus shit. Yeah, people love that nowadays. They're not gonna find that hollow and manipulative.
Some church, some religion.
Always.
But
It's
I
alright, she's in jail for the rest of her life now. No parole.
understand that you got away from that. Did you have a chance during the 4.5 years to look back at your spirituality?
Absolutely. You know, everyone supposes that this is one of the worst experiences of my life, and it's
If I was a judge or a juror, this would be white noise to me. Your spiritual experience has nothing to do with any of this. I do not care.
actually been one of my greatest. If I were not beaten to death, I was going to work myself to death on the outside, and I never had
You were unemployed and living off your ex-husband's alimony for years. What are you talking about?
time to get back into my
You were just drinking all day.
Bible and to pray and to be with the Lord. And I, being here incarcerated, have had time, of course, to get closer to God, to reacquaint myself to Him, and realize what it's all about. This is all temporary. And when I say temporary, I don't mean by being set free in jail or from prison or wherever else. It means being set free and temporary, meaning that you work for something higher, you work for God, that you strive for your crown to be placed upon your head by Jesus Christ by being said, "You have done well, my good and faithful servant." I've always
What else did God say? Thou shalt not kill? That probably was an important one, right?
tried to be a good and faithful servant. I was just a servant as opposed to doing all that I can when my family were alive and I was going through everything up to this point. I've become so much more closer to the Lord, and it's made me such a better person, and I hope that I am an example going forward of the Lord's light.
Oh, why'd you convert to Christianity? Oh, this lady who murdered her husband said she got really Jesus-y in jail, and I thought, I'll give that a shot.
And can draw many people to me because of it.
Any follow-up, State?
No, I assumed that was the final word.
Thank you. She can return back to council's table. Anything else from your side of the ledger, Mr. Owens?
Want to see her get found guilty?
Does everybody understand? Our jury. Members of the jury, you may be seated. Thank you. Members of our jury, good evening. I understand that you've come to a verdict in this case.
Yes.
If you could please hand the verdict form to the deputy.
This was before the video we just watched, obviously, because that was before sentencing. We'll watch sentencing, and then we'll go through the letter.
Please. Thank you, sir.
I think some people do actually convert in prison, but it's as basically a coping mechanism. Many people do it just to, like, be manipulative. But no, I think there are actually people who get converted in prison because often when you're desperate, you're gonna find religion because it gives you easy answers and gives you hope when there is none. There's not a lot of hope to be had in prison.
Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the
Wish they got her face.
Dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 25th day of October 2024. The form has been signed by the foreperson.
Madam Clerk, please poll our jury.
Juror seat number 1, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror seat number 2,
She really hoped for a second they were going to say no. Did you see as soon as she said yes, her face shifted?
juror seat number 1, is this your true and
Neutral face. Is this your verdict?
correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Immediately switch. It's a formality, Sarah. Calm down.
Juror seat number 2, is this your true and correct verdict? Yes, it is. Juror seat number 3, is this your true and correct verdict? Juror seat number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror seat number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Members of our jury, again, I want to thank you for your time, your sacrifice, and your attention in this matter. I know that we spent almost 2 weeks together, and it was not taken lightly, and I really appreciate the time and the effort and the sacrifice that you put into this case. I want to advise you now of your final instruction. Members, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and your consideration in this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak to anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or
Do
elsewhere.
I think there are people who smuggle Coke bottles up their ass into prisons? For what? There are easier ways to sneak things into your butt in prison. Balloons.
It will be up to you to decide.
Like, even if you wanted Coca-Cola, a balloon would be easier.
whether to preserve your privacy.
It would be Coca-Cola that had been in someone's ass. But it's in a balloon, so beggars can't be choosers. Drink my ass Coke.
As a juror. With that, members of the jury, again, I thank you for your service. I'm going to ask you return to the deliberation room. I'll be back there shortly with your jury certificates, and thank you.
I'm just watching her. I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying it.
Probably some testimony from Dr.
All right. Let's do sentencing, and then we'll finish off with the rest of that letter. See what was in her thing that I spelled sentencing wrong.
The court has had the opportunity to review the evidence and testimony that was presented at trial. The victim impact statements presented here today, the statements of character witnesses, both orally and in writing, Dr. Harper's report and testimony, the defendant's testimony, pre-sentencing investigation, the arguments of the state and the arguments of the defense.
You've never been in prison. You don't know if they have stuff like soda in there. No, they do not have soda in prison.
Court pronounces sentence as follows.
Well, they do sell some snacks, I guess. You can get like ramen and like... Would their canteen have soda? I don't know. I've never been to jail either.
Ms. Boone,
Or
court
prison.
sentences you to
Or
life
whatever.
in the Department of Corrections.
They do, but you have to buy it. Guys, if I go to prison, can you still send me stuff into my canteen so I can get food?
With credit time served that Madam Clerk will provide to you
Sure? Hell yeah! You didn't even ask what the crime was! Hell yeah!
momentarily. There are also court costs and costs of prosecution, which Madam Clerk will give you the totals of momentarily. Due to the court levying a life sentence, the court is inclined to liquidate those to a civil judgment unless I hear opposition from the state.
No opposition, Your Honor.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you could please give us the credit time served and the court costs, please.
4 years, 9 months, and 8 days, and the court costs are $418, a state prosecution fee of $100, a dirt fee of $50, and a PD. So the total would be.
What was the crime? Being too cool.
Come to $618.
All right, ma'am, the court costs and costs of prosecution are $618. Those will be liquidated to a civil judgment. You will be given credit time served of 4 years, 9 months, and 8 days. You will have 30 days from today to appeal the judgment and sentence in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you. I'm going to have the courtroom deputy provide you the paperwork. Because you've been incarcerated for the last 58 some odd months, the court is going to declare that you are indigent in this matter. I cannot appoint the public defender to represent you as they are conflicted out. Similarly, I cannot appoint the regional conflict counsel to represent
Yes, I believe she's appealing.
you for the same reasons. The clerk will appoint an attorney from the conflict wheel who specializes in appellate litigation. And again, you'll have 30 days from today to appeal that judgment and sentence in writing. Do you have any questions for me? You will now be remanded into the custody of the Orange County Jail to transfer you to the Department of Corrections, and I wish you the best of luck.
Forever!
State, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, anything further? No. All right. Thank you all very much.
Yay.
Court's off the record.
And there she goes. What's her smile for? What the fuck? Alright, let's go over this last document, and then we'll call it a night. Mr. Michael Kranick, I am enclosing, please, my complete statement to you in the world as I practically read during, or partially read during my sentence hearing. Sorry. By my reserving particular parts of my very true and meaningful statement, I was hoping to have been graced with your forgiveness, understanding, and consideration in any level or degree. For me, unfortunately, and regardless of when I had spoke on my own behalf, or the number of your ignorant mind was already made up. Your ignorant mind. By your clear error and full-blown unfair bias against me since your involvement in my crucible case as a whole, I've been unsuccessful in receiving anything from you as a supposed fair and supposed to be honorable, I'm assuming, judge, except for your wish that I spend the rest of my life in prison. I'm sorry, does she think that his ruling is a wish? Like, you're wishing me to be in prison for the rest of... He's not wishing it. He's ordering it. Neutral judge, thank you. He's ordering you to go to jail for life, prison. Please know and always remember, Mr. Kranick, I forgive you, still and sincerely. Please understand also the judge, according to Cicero, is never to lose sight that he is simply a man and that he can not exceed the power given to him by his commission, that not only power, but public confidence has been given to him, that he ought always be serious... that he always very seriously to attend not to his wishes, but the requirements of the law of justice and religion. Okay. I am excited in my appeal, which speaks for itself. My case law as well, in which I am extremely proud to have achieved, and will continue doing for now, that I am no longer in your corrupt court, and free from your malevolent judicial grip. Is she aware that if her appeal went through, the retrial would be with the same judge? Does she know that? I don't think she understands that, like, if you get an appeal and they order a new trial... It's Kranick, baby! You're insulting the person who would be the judge on your second trial! What are you doing? I don't think she gets that. That's funny. I have also added to my statement as a result of your blindness and impartiality, foremost your disgust in me as being an outspoken woman, determined defendant, and proactive client, hoping the next time you put on your listening ears and do not unfairly oppress the next as you have so blatantly done to me. You will never admit your many judicial errors, nor will the prosecutors theirs, and I will never admit to what you have wrongfully accused me of and judged me as. I am not a murderer. I am a survivor. Black robe disease, arrogance in a judge. A slang term for a judge who flaunts judicial power and dominates proceedings at the expense of the dispensation of justice. Impartiality is the first duty of a judge. Before he gives an opinion or sits in a judgment in a case, he ought to be certain and absolute that he has no bias for or against either of the parties. If he has any interest, even the... What's this one? Anyone got this one? Even the... Anyone? Anyone? Most slightest? How are you reading this shit? Even the most slightest in the cause, he is disqualified from sitting as a judge, and when aware of such interests, ought to lawfully and justly refuse to set on a case. The delicacy which characterizes the judges in this century generally forbid their sitting such a case. Country, not century. Lance with 100 bits says she must have been looking at a photo of herself when she wrote this. The judge must not only be impartial, but must also follow and properly enforce the law, not abuse. He is bound to declare what law is and not make it. Be not an arbitrator, but an interpreter of the law. It's not their duty to be patient in the investigator of the case. Understand circumstances and difficulties by all parties, careful in conducting parts of a case in whole and dissent in judgment. Oh, it's from Bouvier's Law Dictionary. Now she's just citing more things about judges being impartial, assuming it applies to this judge. Okay, and then here we have... This is her final statement that we heard her say. Let's see if we have anything she cut out. This is just about the pottery thing. Okay, there's definitely more on here, so let's just read it. What is this called? Kinsukori? Kinsukori? I'm gonna mispronounce this. In my wisdom and with all of my repairs... Oh, we missed the first part. Now and ongoing, God is and has been and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by George Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Judge Wooten and Kranick, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. You had an attorney at the trial. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable. For ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's future, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into a glass door, kicking my front door, back door over and over and over, for breaking or removing the locks from the doors. We heard that. Heard that. Heard that. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and address and address even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter, as the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Read that, or she said that rather. What did they cut out of this? So far, it's all very familiar. Oh, this one looks new. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they are... No, we read that because that's about the Torres family. That's where she's talking about how social media is terrible. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantage, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my case online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be forgiven, a fair, proper, and uninfluenced successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all the media tycoons, that's the tycoons thing we were in. It's funny. Oh my god, does she talk about each lawyer individually, and that's why they cut it? I forgive Frank J. Bankowitz for committing perjury. Oh, fucking hell. Oh yeah, she's going over each attorney individually. Shit, okay. I forgive Frank J. Bankowitz for committing perjury to the judge in the court record about my attempts to be proactive defendant and client, inquiring about my discovery, then trying to communicate with no answer or correspondence in any manner for 1 full year and 2 months before I was able to finally meet with him in the courtroom, only to receive his motion to withdraw. Frank J. Bankowitz is forgiven for his greed in taking $15,000 from the JAC, who honorably aid indigent defendants as myself, for taking advantage of and robbing the justice system by what? By lying and avoiding clients, taking their money and the jacks. You don't have money, Sarah. You were never paying him. What? Winston E. Hobson receives my forgiveness, who also unethically perjured himself to the judge and on the court record about the progress of the attorney work he did in my case for the 2 months he was court appointed. As for his allegations of my supposed unethical requests, which meant me asking about my discovery and trying to have him file a motion for my lawful inclusion to my pretrial conference, cited under FRCP Discovery. Rule 3, I wanted to be included in my case and no progress from being excluded by Bankowitz and Padilla. Over 3 years prior forgiveness, also in telling me he would return in a week with my discovery, only to receive his motion to withdraw in the meantime, still not received my discovery, and I filing my own motion enabling me to go to all my hearings, including my pre-trial motions. The JAC is the Florida state agency created in 1965 that provides administrative service on behalf of the 49th Judicial Related Office. Thank you. Continued forgiveness in his greed and selfish intentions for robbing the JAC and indigent defendants of $15,000, blah, 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 blah. Finally, and with all my gold received from this one, I forgive Patricia A. Kathman for her mean, snotty, egotistical attitude glass houses, Sarah. And not listening or caring that I finally received my discovery kept asking for which she fully withheld from me, citing her ridiculous, untrue reasons was because I saw with my first attorney 4 years prior, and while she was being my present, and while she being my present at that time attorney, I saw not one page of any digital evidence of my discovery she prohibited me from seeing. This letter's hard. I think she was mad when she was writing this. Sorry. Patricia Cashman is also forgiven for admitting I had a right to bond I asked her for, so I could actually utilize one of my rights as opposed to having them always violated as promised and still ongoing. Then her deterrence of any opportunities to do so. For all her lies, condescension, gross unnecessary arguments, and anger that I asked any questions and wanted to understand, for her doing nothing other than give me an even harder time and request transcripts. Then brazenly lie for over $16,000 for doing so, also from the prosecutor, resources provided from the JAC. I forgive Patricia Cashman for being a liar and a bully. This is just you airing your grievances. Does Sarah know everyone can see this is just her airing her grievances and trying to couch it in faux forgiveness? It's like blatant. Forgiveness for all who did not include me to receive my $15,000 share I worked for when Judge Cranick forced me to be my own attorney to represent myself as pro se. I actually and finally got my own discovery almost 5 years later, filed motions all prior should have done, making them the most expensive motions ever at over $46,000 between the 3 prior attorneys, Frank Bankowitz, Walter Hobson, Patricia Cashman. Would they have done so supposedly representing me? The motion would have been priceless for the proper use of the JAC funds towards ethics, professionalism, honesty, and freedom. I honorably utilized my JAC resources and mentorship as a proactive, indigent defendant, avidly defending myself against liars, thieves, and real villains in my criminal case. Who really is the criminal? The JAC can hopefully include their forgiveness for them also. Judge Wooten and Cranick, I have great forgiveness for also in not protecting me and listening to my valid requests for judicial intervention so I could properly and fairly defend myself against my charges. Instead, I had to defend myself against the attorneys, all appointed by the judge in court, against their lies and exaggerations, reasons unjustifiable why they were really creeping away from the battlefield and abandoning their professional duty as a new attorney. They weren't creeping away from the battlefield, they're running away from you, Sarah, because you're nuts and you keep harassing them and not understanding your role in the client-attorney relationship. Judge Cranick, I forgive you for not giving any opportunity to stand at your pulpit, to stand at all, to explain the real truthful side of the story. She testified. She was, as is her right, allowed to testify in court, and she did. So this is just a lie. She was given her opportunity in court to tell her side of the story. I believe in the justice system, including yourself, would and should have done any vital homework on the already almost see-through attorneys from being spread so thin, and sincerely sending an email to care about their present work already, number of clients, trial schedules already in place before throwing another inmate defendant unknowingly client on the heaping unimportant pile of warm bodies. More taxpayer dollars could be conserved, and less time consumed and waived for everyone, including everyone, regardless of what part they play in this supposed system of justice. My forgiveness is deepened for taking even greater time, away years by not caring to ask me anything about anything to understand so you could justifiably render your life-defining judgments and willful anger one bias and prejudice. I'm probably reading that wrong. And withhold any anyone line. He's calling the judge bias and prejudice again. Foremost, Judge Cranick, I forgive you for kicking me when I was down and choking the life out of my constitutional amendments, most profoundly my sixth right to counsel, as a result of my wholehearted case of my First Amendment free speech being my own advocate, since no one else would be and received a paycheck for, and all of my free speech, experience-driven, letters only for remedy in any collaboration. In conclusion, receiving my discovery as an inmate, dependent and client, not remorseful. Wow, I am having trouble with this. Defendant and client, not removal of any attorneys to cause more delays or any reason or excuse you may try to force on me and have already inappropriately accused me of doing prior with your heavily insinuated strategies of mine to try and deflect the glaring red flags, disappointments, and true crime in all of the judicial system. Fuck. To this day, and all forward, I do not forfeit my rights, any of them ever, especially my right to be bold, outspoken, and right in my very real life experiences with the legal and justice systems. Those aren't rights. I mean, I guess you can talk about it. Do it. That's your right. But, like, it's not going to go anywhere. You aren't there to judge Cranick. Rather, you aren't there, Judge Cranick, in anything. No meetings, phone calls, visits, and still took my rights and oppressed harder. I have now defended myself against you, praying you do not care too late as the others and relate further again to me as a still proud citizen of the United States of America and freely excitedly using my God-given rights to still try and defend myself, to stand all the way up and to renew my freedom altogether, rather, for you to remove my freedom altogether by allowing and appearing by, something about her stab wound. Allowing and approving my stab wound, bodily parts, rapes, bruises, something else, and all the rest of the beatings I endured. I hope you can finally see and understand just some of the pain from the extreme difficulties, obstacles, and unfairness, especially in my due process, you have added in my criminal case and life as an inmate, defendant, and client. All is forgiven. Forgives the detectives. She read that part. This is complaining about things not admitted to the trial. Also, my forgiveness and greater gold comes from wondering why nothing viable in my defense was taken from my townhouse, aka the crime scene to aid in my truth, such as the butcher knife, 5-prong garden claw, or hammer under the table together outside where George had easy access for use if I tried to leave or call for help, while being held against my will during his rageful binges, or my bloody pillowcase stained from me being backhanded because I hid the magnum-sized bottle of vodka from him. Who calls it a magnum-sized bottle of vodka? I was a severe alcoholic. I never heard it referred to as magnum. Anyway, why weren't any crime scene photos taken of holes patched in the walls and doors, some doors missing, knobs, all locks, George removed cracked windows, broken furniture, obvious unnatural destruction in my town home? How and why were they missed, uncared about, or not questioned so I could explain some of them? It had nothing to do with the crime that they were investigating. What? You wanted them to go out back and be like, oh, there's a hammer here. We better take a picture of that. In case someone might have used this hammer to do something, even though they didn't? What? It makes no difference. All is forgiven. Prosecutors, Mr. Is that JC? I'm not sure. Something. Mr. Something and Mr. Cassatone. I forgiveness is also extended for your inappropriate attributed negatives for having to go through years of my pictures, videos, texts to erroneously piece together your deceitful, damning reason of what actually happened and who I am after so much availability, and for so long you finally able to make the circle fit into the square. We have video of you killing him. I forgive your antics, theatricals, ludicrous comments to make sure the world got their money's worth while watching with ignorant pitchforks and burning torches, hoping for the best from you, which in my world, best from you, which is my world. Indeed, instead of dropping the nuke, Mr. J, you've dropped the hat. I'm not sure what the fuck she means by that. For the yelling, finger-pointing, intense... Wow, Sarah, goddamn. For yelling, finger-pointing, and intense don't know that word, to force your theoreticals and fantastics on the jury by using imaginary space, adventure, and fictional characters to blind and bedazzle them with your far, far away from the truth characterizations. Oh boy. Underlining, sorry. In all of your pieced-together productions, I forgive you for never seeing the light in people, their human goodness, and big hearts. You'll wake up to seek out the opposite, to condemn, to take lives in your own way. See the good that does exist in all of us inherently and unforced, even as the proud Mr. J stated, the kicked dog that bites. Mr. J who kicked the dog in the first place. In my new wisdom, it's usually best to let sleeping dogs lie, then they don't bite. This is terrible. This is so hard to get through. My gold goes out to the jury for not understanding my cracks from being blinded. She read that part. From this and their brash, misguided, corrupt decision, I was wrongfully judged a murderer instead of a survivor. For this, all is forgiven. For this, I can still survive and stand trial, having an even greater, the greatest opportunity to finally be understood in the Supreme Court for my appeal. Got a while to go until you get an opportunity to even address the Supreme Court, Sarah. Don't hold your breath. I didn't lose. God just wanted me to win in a different way. Freedom and forgiveness, heart. This is stuff she read. Fucking hell, Sarah. Yep. She read all that stuff. This is the last page, though. Says, learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke the oppressor, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. And that's Sarah Boone's letters. So, next time we cover Sarah Boone, we'll probably be going over some of her jail calls, because there's many of them. So we'll go through some selected jail calls. I haven't gone through them yet. I've listened to them before, but I have to listen to them with an ear going, okay, what's important here? Because she called people all the time. There's so many calls. We don't have to listen to them all. But I'll kind of catalog the ones that are the most interesting. We'll listen to those. And then we can cover her family court stuff if we'd like. Then we'll pretty much be done with Sarah. Because, like, there's a lot, but there is a limited amount. And then we'll move on to some other crazy murderer or something. So, it's fun even if she's disgusting. I agree. She's fascinating. I think she's so interesting because she's like a pure narcissist, constantly being deprived of everything she wants. And she doesn't even have the self-awareness to hide the narcissism. I find that fascinating. I find that so fascinating. So,
Sorry, he does connective rope.
we are going to raid Lumi. All right, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you on Wednesday for Tinfoil. Like I said, I work Monday and Tuesday this week, so I won't be able to see you. But I will be back Wednesday and for the rest of the week, so I'll see you then. And, hope you find stuff to do for the next couple days. Watch my VODs. They're so good. I'm in them. Have you heard them? They're good. I'm so entertaining. Or at least I present entertaining things. All right, have a good night, everyone. See you later.